and
Yeah,
turn and then
it's
go down
not. It's
another
just
land.
not down straight.
Yeah, no.
So,
Like those are mostly just for like straightaways.
And we are live.
Hello.
hello.
Oh,
It hath been some time.
Yes, it has been. So let's just. So let's see. That's good. That's good. Checking my levels.
Someone checking to make sure we can hear Azrin before we get too far into this.
That
I'm trying.
that's what I was doing. I
But
That's what I
it's so
was.
much more fun to let you do your intro and then say, "But we can't hear you."
I know. I was being proactive. Pro streamer here. So
Wow,
welcome
that's
everyone.
not us.
I know, right? Sorry, no cam for me. One of my eyes is having some light sensitivity issues, so
yay.
I can't use my ring light, which means I won't show up on my camera at all. So you know, more so than usual. I'm working on getting a new camera. I'm just trying to decide which one I want to get because there's too many choices.
I got one before you.
Well, we can talk about it later. Uh, but let's see. So welcome back. It's been a little bit holiday break. Extra stuff from other shows. Welcome once again to Wayward Wanderers, episode 41. We are currently in chapter 2, Legacy of the Lost Gods. Um, and We had a little break from the normal routine of the book we're in, and we did a solstice two-parter, which was Grinch themed, um, changed enough to avoid any copyright issues um, with the IP, because don't need anyone coming after us because we ain't got no money. But yeah, so our adventurers basically stopped our allegory for the evil Grinch and saved um, Mindy Moulou, who's our little heroine uh, protagonist for this little side adventure. Um, found out some weird things, found out some potentially new magic has been introduced into the realm, some weird occultism type nonsense that this character is using, who we have no body for proof because he got sucked into a portal. So, you know, whatever bad thing
You
he
can
so whatever bad thing he was trying to do or bring into the world, took him instead. So we'll see what happens.
you can totally blame me for that one.
Yeah,
If it wasn't going to be you, it was going to be me.
yeah. I planned the trap episode, and no one went into any of the traps. So I want it to be, different. It's like, yeah, old GMs just throw monsters at their players. Haha, I'm gonna be cute. I'm gonna throw traps. And they ran into like two.
How
So,
cute! You came up with traps.
yeah.
We
So,
didn't trigger any of them.
yeah.
Well, we triggered them, but we never fell into them.
Yeah. Oh, there,
Yeah.
there, there were, there were more traps. There were. I wasn't expecting any of you to do any of the things you did, and, yeah, yeah. There were shenanigans, but it happens. Overcome, adapt, all that nonsense. So you guys saved Mindy. The constable is, giving you guys some, in her own way, some praise. Basically, letting you know you're the least useless of the tools she has at her disposal. And you had a brief little visit from our interdimensional raccoon friend who gave Cantrell a box, and he opened it, and poof of streamers and confetti, he got one of those cupcake cakes But we didn't resolve the other gifts that were given, because there were other things happening. Um, so as you guys are just relaxing at the circus camp, just decompressing from all the crazy that you just went through, um, just the solstice
Wait,
celebration.
Azrin,
Yeah.
what happened with Mindy Lou Moo?
She is, as far as you know, um, she is okay. Um,
We ever give her the heart back?
remember at the end, there there was a version of the heart on the pedestal that
Yeah,
was smaller than the one that you saw.
yeah.
Raccoon gave us.
Yeah.
Oh, he gave it. Yeah, shouldn't we return it to her though? To the
But
Mindy.
it was already in the museum before.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
on the pedestal.
Yep.
oh, he put it back. Oh,
Yep,
okay.
Yeah.
yep.
Hmm.
I thought maybe we would have to give it back to her, so we could go back and I was more thinking of the actual like legitimate. Like, oh, it's supposed to go back to her to be put back in her body.
The original one that they stole blew up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. The rather large explosion that
Yeah, that one I exploded. Yeah. Uh,
I mean, when
Like I said, if it
yeah,
wasn't you, it's gonna be me.
when you disrupt high level rituals,
I know.
bad things happen.
I took that in consideration, but I just was thinking, oh well, when we got the heart back, I just thought we'd have to go give it back to Mindy Lou Moo and put it back, and it would go magically inside. You know, at the movie.
It's not
No,
that kind of heart.
not that kind of
Oh,
heart.
it's not that
She,
kind of heart.
It,
Okay.
it, it's not reverse Indiana Jones. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
She's a humanoid. As far as anyone knows from your interaction with her, she's fleshy. Uh, you know, as far as you know, there's no need for any artificial heart to be placed in her. Um, since you guys really didn't examine the ritual, you just broke it. Through
I sure did.
blunt force trauma. You're not exactly
I
sure.
didn't. We didn't have time to wait for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, weird. No offense. We had time. We didn't have time to wait for you.
I mean, okay then.
Well, that's what happens when the wizard rolled slow,
Especially
especially in initiative.
Eh?
So,
Sorry, continue on.
all right. So
I was
so
confused.
as far as you guys know, Mindy is okay. There is, it's basically the day before the actual like solstice celebration, the big night of, revelry and whatnot, and who's and what's it's. So you guys are just resting and getting your bearings straight, while you guys are just chilling around the campfire, regaling the rest of the circus people with your story. Um, all of you get like these weird nudges in your head, like a revelation has been opened up to you. Um, and we'll start with Shima, just because on my screen, you're we're going in clockwork. We're going clockwise. So Shima goes first, from my perspective. So Shima, you feel something off with your bow. Not so much off, but like you just know that if you're wielding your bow, and only when wielding your bow, whatever your current key pool is doubled.
Jeez. Okay.
That's pretty fucking good.
Right. Next is Gwenin. So Gwenin, you're sitting down, you're having chats, you're reminiscing with Jarthal about, you know, Desna things and whatnot, and you you feel like, because you're always wearing your healer's gloves for the most part, um, they you look at them and you know these were a gift from the raccoon. The little raccoon emblem that was on them changes a um, little bit more ornate, um, more sparkly, ribbony, confetti, um, and you have a notion that the healing potential of your gloves hasn't changed, but you can use them now like you would a cure spell. So if you use an action, it's the standard usage like you're used to. However, you can now do a ranged usage with 2 actions or an emanation with 3 actions.
Okay, so ranged is 2 action.
Yep, 30 foot. And if you use 3 actions, you get a 30-foot emanation.
And how many people?
30-foot emanation.
For
Yes.
whoever happens to be in the.
Yep. Any
And that's a 3 action?
Yep. Any living thing that's in that emanation will be healed.
Wow.
It's just like your cure spell.
Okay. So, and am I limited to how many times that can be used a day?
The normal usage of it is the same. It does not change. So once a day.
So can now be used, okay, once per day.
It's always been that way.
Right. Okay. So, as an action, it's basically like the heal spell.
It's normal usage.
Okay, 1 action is normal usage. Okay.
If you spend
Ranged,
2 actions,
the 2 action gives me 30 feet, and 3 action gives me a 30-foot emanation.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So they have to choose which one they're gonna do for the day.
Yep.
Do I have to choose ahead of time?
No.
You choose it upon activation.
Okay. Okay. So I always have them. So basically, depending upon the situation, I can do a single, 2 or 3 action heal. Okay. Thank you.
All right, and we're temporarily going to skip Cantrell because there's a bunch of other stuff that goes for him. And
I will add all that to my character sheet. Thank you.
and Shothra. So, like you feel something's missing from your person, and like you go through your inventory, you go looking around for it, and that really spooky mask that you used to carry around,
Yeah, that mask.
it's gone. Like you
Oh,
cannot find it. It isn't around anywhere. However, you feel there's something extra happening with your tamer's hat. As an action, your hat basically, this is the easiest way I can explain this. So have you seen Princess and the Frog, the Disney movie?
The one with Louisiana?
Yeah.
You're
might not picking me up. Okay, there we
you
go.
There we go.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So at the end of Friends on the Other Side, when Facilier has like the blue light iridescent skull mask over his face,
Yeah.
like the voodoo
Yeah.
doctor type deal,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you feel you can activate that as the abilities of the mask that you never had identified get incorporated into your Beast Tamer's regalia. So, as an action, once per day, you get to use the effects of a demon mask. And that's an actual item. That's what you had. You just never identified it.
Yeah, I never did identify it. I just knew it scared people.
Yeah.
I swear, I never did have Cantrell identify that.
So you could look it up in archives. If you need a link, I'll give it to you. But the effect is the same as the demon mask because that's what it was. So when you activate this effect, your 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 regalia picks up a more ominous visage, and basically anyone in your field of view needs to make a saving throw or be feared, just like the demon mask.
Oh, well, this says it's grants a +1 to intimidation checks.
Yeah, but
Oh.
but if you keep reading the effect, it gives a fear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. I see it. Yep. You're gonna have to put like my regalia into a handout or something. It's just
Alright.
I remember everything that regalia does now.
All right, I'll have to put. I was hoping you were doing it yourself, but I'll put it into a handout for you.
No, I'm gonna need it more in a handout. It's getting a lot now.
Alrighty, and Cantrell.
You asked me a funny question earlier.
Yes, I did. I asked you a really funny question earlier. I asked you fire or lightning, and you chose lightning.
Ride the
Ooh.
lightning. Oh boy.
So you know, now that everything is calmed down and everything is okay and copacetic, you open up your gift, because along with the cupcake cake there was that little weird kazoo like thing that you had.
Right. Yeah.
So you look it over and you feel that like you need to do something with it, and you want to you have an urge to just basically start barking and just ginning up a crowd. Like you feel like that's what this thing wants you to do.
Okay. So right there as we're all relaxing, Cantrell just kind of gets up, moves off to the side a little bit, and off to the side, like upwards into the sky. He God.
Test.
He starts blowing the kazoo to get everyone's attention. Sees what that does first. Like, how loud are we talking here?
Like like you just like in your mind you're just like you want to be center stage and just ginning up a crowd.
He starts going through the routine introduction to the circus, just to see if his vocal cords are still there, and does anything happen?
Yeah. As you start going through your your prepared speech, the little kazooie type thing turns into like a full blown megaphone. Not modern megaphone, old timey. It has like the handle and it's basically a cone you yell into.
Right. Okay. He'll start using that to boost his voice.
So as you're you're doing that, um, your voice is basically reverberating, um, and it's definitely loud. People can everyone takes notice, um, And as you're going through your speech, your your actual clothing like starts to change, and similar in fashion to Shothra's Beast Tamer gear. Um, you have a more ostentatious outfit appearing on you. Um, these very shiny, above knee high boots, with, these elaborate patterns along the side. Um, you're wearing, I don't know the name of them, but you're wearing like, those reverse parachute pants where it's tight on the calves and poofy on the thighs.
Oh, capris kind of thing.
I don't know. I'm not a fashionista. I just know what they look like, you know. And
Fair
then
enough. Fair enough.
Sort of like jodhpurs,
I
kind
guess
of.
if that's what they are. And they're
It's
like
what it sounds like.
and they're like, jet black with like very intricate inlaid thread that catches the light, and this very, bright and just, circusy long coat with tails. That just it's basically a 3/4 coat where the last length of it is tails that just barely touches the floor. And this just very, you know, wide brimmed hat, you know, with, elaborate spirals um, appear on your head.
As he finishes the the sentence that he actually had the regalia show up, he kind of just takes a look around at his clothes. Oh boy, that's gonna get some used to.
And
He,
while you're wearing this ringmaster's regalia, um, you feel some effects um, on you,
mm,
and these are only if you have all of the regalia plus the horn in your hand. So
okay.
um, currently, you have a modified effect of a horn of blasting.
Yeah, I kind of figured that it was a horn of blasting.
So
Oh boy.
so you'll get the normal +2 bonus to all performance checks.
+2
Yep, while you're
performance.
while you're in the regalia. However, the frequency of usage currently is altered. So the once per round activation for the 3d6 sonic blast is a once per day, and
Hmm.
the once per day frequency is now a once per week.
Okay, so once per week, horn of blasting.
Yeah. So if you look at the horn of blasting, its normal usage it has two different effects. One is once per round, and one is once per day. However, you feel you're not quite at the appropriate proficiency to use this thing the way it's supposed to be used. So you can't use it as often as you would normally be able to. Hence the change.
Ooh, yay. Uh, would this count as like a what kind of item is this? Is this like a wondrous item?
The regalias or the raccoon weapons are, depending what they are, wondrous or sub artifact level.
Sub artifact. Okay. Huh.
These
Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble with this thing.
Yep. All of these items have natures that are outside the normal realm of magic because, out of character, the the raccoon is basically a demigod.
Right.
You're welcome.
What can I say except you're
You're
welcome?
welcome.
Anyway.
Was he
And
that type of demigod?
I mean, he's not as arrogant as Maui, but
Maui, yeah.
Um, and give me a perception check.
Uh-oh. 14?
All right, you make it. Um, so you see dangling off the handle of the horn. There's like a bauble of some kind. Um, it's basically a heart with a lightning bolt going through the center of it. Um,
Okay.
it doesn't feel like it's part of the regalia. It feels like this is something different.
He'll take a gander at that.
And it's pin sized. It's like maybe it's like the size of a large coin.
Just kind of it looks like something that can be opened, or is it like
It looks like a talisman, so
okay.
talismans can either be attached to weapons or armor, whatever you choose.
Right. Yes.
So you could attach it to the regalia, but again, it's not part of the regalia. It's it's
Right.
something different. But
Uh,
you can wear it or you can affix it to a weapon of your choice.
he's gonna look at his quarterstaff. It might be better to put on this thing, and starts moving it over.
Alrighty.
And
So you affix to the quarterstaff?
yes.
Alrighty. So when you do that, you now know what this thing is.
Oh.
You have a electrical version of a flaming star, which is a spell heart. These items imbue casters with certain elemental affinities. You can look up Flaming Star in Archives of Nephis, but I will tell you what the changes are. The changes currently, because it is not flame based, it is electricity based, is your armor resistance is to electricity and not fire. So you have a +2 resistance to electricity while you're wielding this quarterstaff.
Okay.
I'm sorry, no. That's if you wear it on your armor. You're not wearing it on the armor. You're using it as on a weapon.
Gotcha.
But if you decide to place it on the armor, that's what you would get. You can move it as you need to, but affixing it to something else requires a full round to do so.
Okay.
So since it's on a weapon, whenever you cast any electric-based spells, they deal an extra D4 of electric damage.
Oh no. We all know what he's going to use that on.
This counts for when you activate the star. So basically, if you hit someone with the quarterstaff, it does an extra D4 of electricity.
Okay, so yeah,
Um,
whenever I smack somebody. Okay.
Yep. And it has an activation again while you're holding the staff because it's on a weapon. Um, Whenever you cast a spell, um, you gain the effect of electric arc.
Ah, okay. I get it now. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Um, hmm. So, electrical version of Flaming Star. If I decide to fix it to something else, takes a full round. Armor would give you resistance to it. Weapon damage gets an extra d4 of electrical damage. Spells. Uh, and then Horn of Blasting, instead of a round and a day, it's a day and a week.
Mm-hmm.
Modifier of +2 to performance while wielding kazoo. And in the regalia, the full regalia, I think that's it. All right. Now I gotta figure out what to do with my inventory here. Worn item.
Yep.
Circus regalia.
Ringmaster's Regalia.
Ringmaster's regalia. Thank you. Oofda.
Yep.
Magic items. Other elemental augmentations. Nope. None of those. This is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm
how I
having
felt with
trouble
mine.
yeah, I'm still having trouble like navigating Archives and Nethys as we go along with this, so don't mind me.
Alrighty. So you guys will do that. Um, so you guys are just like, looking at, you know, Cantrell and all of his weird raccoony gear. And, obviously the circus folk are, super astonished. They're like, they're looking forward to all the extra, stuff that's going to happen while you're doing whatever you do, blah, blah, blah. So the rest of the night goes by uneventful and peacefully. You guys wake up in the morning and you guys have a couple of decisions to make. So in Escadar, there is a celebration happening um, for the basically the festival of the solstice is since the solstice is ending. This is the bookend of that celebration, which is basically a day-long party. Um, or you can get back into trying to figure out um, where this Moonstone Hall is that you know of from the work you did calming down the previous and stone.
Well, we know where possible the entrance is.
Where is that party happening?
It's all over the city.
Oh.
There's a main there's a podium at the museum where there'll be speakers and performances and all sorts of other stuff, and then throughout the city at different locations there'll be different solstice events, things of that nature, just people hanging around. Everything just has a sort of end of winter vibe.
Okay. If the party's happening around the whole town, it might be a good cover for us to go snooping around for the main entrance. Or the supposed entrance.
That's a good point.
So we should look like we're maybe look festive, look like we're celebrating, but kind of keeping our focus on trying to find where we're going, or trying to find this entrance.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to change out of this regalia real quick.
And the second you think about that, you're back in your regular clothing. And the little kazoo thing is just like like a pin on your regular clothing.
Gonna put that in one of my hidden pockets inside. And might still be overdressed. I don't know. I'm just gonna hang out. He's just gonna walk around looking like he's, supposed to be there, I guess. I don't know.
Alrighty. So, where are you guys? Where are you guys going?
How far away is the museum from that workshop district?
Not too far. A couple blocks.
That's actually What say you, Gwennon?
I think that sounds like a good idea. I'll just probably go in my robes, maybe throw on a festive sash or something that looks, a bit nicer. I'm sure I've got something that I can find it, with all the circus folk and everything. I'm sure if there's a mundane item I can just add so that I would look more like I belong with the festivities. But I think I'll come with you, and I'm sure Jathal would be in agreement with that.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
he totally is pretty much at your side whenever you go out adventuring any place remotely dangerous.
Shima, Shother, games.
Sure, why not?
Games and drinks.
That was easy. All right, I guess we should
Maybe I'll take Bart off with me.
Well, that would make us
all.
not stand out.
Distraction, You can perform tricks and stuff. We can make some money for the circus, and maybe it'll get him to dip his toes back in the circus performing gig before he performs with me, and she'll look at what has once been known to as Wolfie. And she'll look to Ash. And to rename Wolfie to suit her with a better name. She's now going to be called Ash.
Very well.
With an E at the end, Asrin.
Okay, fancy speller.
Yeah, the reference.
Yeah, well, when I see Ash spelled that way, I always think of Zoro's character, because that's how she spelled Ash.
It's a video game reference that I have.
League of
Character
Legends.
Final. No, Final Fantasy 12 actually.
Oh, 12. Okay. Yeah, that makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I drew the get up I'm in while I was getting all my notes in. It's not a bad look. All right.
I dropped an image into our chat channel,
Oh, did you?
not onto into the Discord one. I wasn't sure how to get it over onto the other one. Is that kind of what you had in mind for the pants, Ezra?
Yeah, but jet black with
Yeah.
like the tighter on the calves than what that one is.
Okay, but kind of that vibe.
That's more like flash dance like choreography that you would see at the mall or something.
Like I have to find a good picture of it, but
Yeah,
it's
I wasn't having any luck, so
um.
the starting point.
So I heard someone say they want to try and convince the not yet 100% obedient bear to go into a crowd of people.
Yeah, to practice performing in a crowd of people.
Wouldn't suggest that.
I'm gonna have to step in and say no. Sorry.
Oh, y'all aren't fun.
Oh, we're fun, just not that kind of fun.
I would have allowed the attempt. I know something would have been amazing happening, but your party convinces you to not, harangue Bard off into the crowd of people. So you guys are going anywhere in particular first, or what are you doing?
Well, we can start off like do we even know like if they're doing announcements or anything like special announcements at the museum where they have the podium or anything for the actual event?
There's going to be gift giving for the children of Escadar.
Okay.
So that's like it's a normal thing for the solstice at the end. All the children, orphans or not, basically if you're under the age of 15, because 15 is technically an adult, or at least the beginnings of an adult in this world, you can get a gift.
Oh, speaking of which, I think the Ash dolls are going to be ready then. Let's go pick those up and toss out a few to the kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot you guys were getting Wolfie dolls
We got
made.
merch.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty close.
She has a little axe in her, you know.
In her mods or for the doll. Yeah.
Yeah, for the doll.
Too funny. So you're going to go to where you commissioned to have these made first, I take it?
Yep.
All right, so you guys, get in town and it is packed. Like, there are people everywhere dressed in all sorts of festive colors and, all sorts of crazy stuff. Poofy hats, fuzzy skirts, all sorts of just weird, it's like, a bunch of druids just like came into town and just dressed everybody in like the most, weird nature shit they can find.
Humble beginnings. Humble beginnings.
And you guys get to the shop, and the guy tells you, he's like, yeah, I just finished your order yesterday. Is it just you guys who are gonna take this? Because you guys ordered a big thing.
Oh, we're taking a small sample of it for the festivities today, if that is okay.
Yeah, you paid for it, so.
Yeah. So, like, Cantrell will pull out his raccoon bag and stuff a few of those in there. And basically, since it is almost like a bag of holding,
Hmm.
he'll fit in as many as he can. I believe it's just a level 1.
Yeah. So
Okay.
can't go crazy with the bulk. So you can
Yeah,
fit.
I know.
So you can fit like maybe with all the crap you have in there already, like maybe 2 dozen in there.
Okay. He'll do
Um,
that.
Yes.
Shimmer does the same.
the shopper's gonna pipe up and say, "I just want one for my my trailer or wherever we stay in, wagons."
Catch.
She'll catch it, and she'll look at Ash. And be like, Ash, look, it's you.
And she like looks at it. She like cocks her head, the way dogs do when they look at stuff, and she like just sniffs at it. She's like, it's like, doesn't smell like me, but it looks like me, and she starts to growl at it.
No, no, no. This is a good thing. Now all the little children will have like a mini you with them. Isn't that nice? You'll be famous, even more famous than you already are.
Yeah, it's like having kids without actually doing any of the kid stuff.
She does.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's like kids without actually having any kids.
I don't want any pups.
The door.
Yet at least.
we tried.
She also doesn't understand the concept of fame.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm.
Like, she basically asks you if famous is something she can eat.
No, you can't eat fame.
Boo.
But people might give you food in return for because you are famous, because you are so well known.
I'm Ash. I'm not famous.
Not yet. All right.
You know what? We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
She's a
Can't
kid.
tell.
She's a kid, and she's an animal. You're not. Just because you can talk to her doesn't mean she's gonna give you riveting responses.
That's a good point. I know. Kendra, toss me another one.
There's a
Gwennon will
whole
offer.
there's a whole box over here. Come on.
Okay, Gwennon will
Oh,
take
yeah.
a few of each, but not enough to completely fill her bag. Probably just
All right, so you can say like a dozen or so,
basically.
or less than that.
Well, okay, so there's just the one item.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Okay,
I'm gonna say that basically if any of you take 2 dozen, that's enough to fill your bag. Just so you're not walking around with like an army of like plushies in your bags for no particular reason.
I would take, say, 10.
All right.
Also, as we're walking around and I notice what the crowd are wearing, do I see any wildflowers growing anywhere?
In the actual city, no.
Okay.
It is a city. I mean, it's just
Okay.
yeah,
Are there
'cause
flower vendors?
that. Yes, there are flower vendors.
Okay. How much would it cost me to buy a bouquet of flowers?
What kind of flowers?
Just assorted things that look like not roses or anything, just things that look very like daisies and some greenery and you know, um,
Okay, so basically, just like
assorted flowers,
yeah,
colorful.
like a nice size, like
A
there's
nosegay.
yeah. So there's like they have a couple of different festive options. The cheapest one is 1 silver
Okay, I'll
for
buy that.
like a decent sized bouquet of different assorted you know seasonal flowers.
Okay. I'm going to take that. I'm going to find a place to sit down, and I'm going to turn it into a floral head wreath because that would be so Gwennon, and I'm going to put that on.
Okay. You could have bought a head wreath from there. They actually have them if you just wanted to buy one.
Oh, sure. I'll do that instead then. Yeah. Same
All right.
price?
Actually, no, because there's effort involved, um, and it's basically 3 silvers for the reefs.
Sure. I'll spend 3 silver pieces and buy a head wreath and pop it on.
Yep, and it's like dense with flowers. It's not like it's not piddly, um, and when before she gives it to you, she basically sprays it with this stuff. It smells sweet, and she tells you basically like when she hands it to you, the flowers don't feel as soft. They feel a little bit rougher, and she tells you that it's basically a salve that she puts on the reeves so the flowers last longer.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That totally would be something Gwennon would do.
all right, so she gives you that. You now have this very fancy flower wreath on your head, and Jathal gives you some very appropriate compliments on the wreath.
Gwenna would probably blush a little bit and probably fuss with her hair or something, I think.
Yep. All right. Anyone doing anything else? While you're all walking
Shimmer
around.
would probably be walking about, and if she sees a kid, she'll give him a plushie.
All right. So you see a kid, and you give him one of the little ash dolls, and like all of a sudden this small crowd of kids descends on you.
I
Run.
start handing out plushies.
All right. Roll me a d8.
I got to set up my dice.
I get this funny feeling that I'm gonna start roaming around Wolfie too.
I rolled a 1.
Alrighty. We'll say you can roll that again because like there are more than just one kid.
8.
All right. Well. So you give one to one kid and like 7 more just like a bunch of kids let go of their parents' hands and like run towards you because they're like giving out you're giving out toys. And they're like, oh, and you recognize some of these kids from your race to the library with Cantrell. Like some of these kids, like a good half of them are actually from that school outing that you ran over. Well, not ran over, but ran physically over.
Expertly went over them.
Yeah, as you parkoured over their heads, and they totally remember you, and they're like, that was so cool. You got to do that again. It's like, I want to know how to do that. How do you do that? And they're like, asking you, and they're like, they're not petting you like an animal, but they don't really have the opportunity to like, hang around a cat person. So, some of them are like, grasping on your ears and like holding onto your tail. It's like, oh, it's so fluffy.
Okay.
Kids be kids.
Oh yeah. I give you like, if you want to deal with kids, I've dealt with kids. They're gonna accost you.
Yeah.
The kids will do what kids do.
Shimmer sort of looks over to Cantrell like for a plea of help.
Like he's slowly reaching in for the kazoo. It's just like, no, that's a bad idea. Okay.
Yeah, it's horn of blasting the kids because that's the thing.
Well, actually, pull out his bag and show up like with 3 of them in his hands. Like, does anyone else want any? I'm not sure if you got all.
Like everyone has one, but like they they're like, oh, because they go to you to see if you have a different one.
Oh no, they're all the same, unfortunately. But hey, they are of our circus performer Shathra's own Ash. That is the name of this dog.
And so, and they go, are you like close by Shathra with Ash?
Yeah, I'm probably like right behind them.
And they
And
go
I'm just like, and there's like right there.
and
They just kind of step aside.
yeah, and they basically just swarm off of Shima, and they basically start swarming Ash. Ash immediately gets defensive because she's like all these little things with like versions of her are like just descending upon her, and she does not know what to do, but she's definitely uncomfortable with this current situation.
She's gonna kneel down to Ash's level, and she's just gonna look at her and be like, "It's okay. They just want to pet you. They're small children. Just sit and look adorable."
And they look at you funny, and they're like, "You can't talk to dogs. They don't understand you."
She's special.
Yeah. I have special
Jesus.
powers that let me commune with my wolf.
And the kids look at you and look at the wolf and are like, "You just trained her. Prove it."
I don't really know how to prove this. She'll
do a little dance.
she'll just tell she'll just tell Ash to tell Ash to do a little dance, and not even look like I commanded her to do anything. Stand up and just say. She'll just stand up, look at the kids, and she'll just say to Ash, "Dance for them."
So from the kid's perspective, you look at Ash, and you bark at her.
Yep. I bark at her.
Well, because it's like they're like she. So the way, because like I said before, you whatever sounds or communication sounds animals make, that's what you do, but they hear it as actual words, and so do you. So you bark something at Ash, and then she goes, she thinks she's practicing stuff for the routine, so so she just does like the little shimmy she does and pretends she's on top of the ball, and just gets up on 2 legs and bounces around and and hops and yips and all that stuff, and then she gets down and she wags her tail and she barks. And the kids are astonished. They're like, "Oh my gosh, she can talk to animals!" And they're like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "You gotta talk to my cat." And the other one's like, "Oh my god!" It's like, "You need to talk to my dad's goat." He keeps hitting them for some reason.
Oh no!
Well, you tell your father he's not supposed to hit the goat, even if he's being bad.
No, the goat's hitting my dad. You have to ask him why he's hitting my dad.
Oh, the goat. The goat is
the other way around.
The goat is just a jerk. Just ignore him.
And then the one boy looks at a girl and he's like, "See, I told you that goat was a jerk. You said no." And then they're just they just start squabbling. apparently they're brother and sister.
And at that point, I just kind of try and guide everyone out of the sea of kids and just keep moving along.
As we're being guided, she'll be like, "You can tell your dad he can bring the goat to the circus, and I'll see what's going on with the goat."
All right, so you successfully escape the menagerie of children.
Maybe you could get a side business going on animal counseling.
That's a great idea to make the circus more money. I think I should just open up the circus grounds as well for animal
All,
counseling sessions.
all of a sudden, Strother becomes Doctor Doolittle.
Yeah. It's a great side business.
I'd pay money for that show.
Oh man! All right, so
I'll have Yonk make some flyers for me.
yeah, should definitely, she'll definitely
She'll
she'll
spell
make
my name wrong,
yeah, she'll totally make some misspelled flyers for you. Yeah,
Yeah. This is a great idea. We'll put a pin in this idea.
yeah,
Put a bean in that one.
yeah. As creative as Yonk is, spelling is not one of her fortes.
But you could do it even like just before the circus shows and stuff. I think it's
Exactly.
great.
Yeah. You know how much that'd be
Yeah.
great. Who needs to go drinking when you can just become
and
an
then
animal counselor?
Would that count as just sort of an aside here? Would that count as like a building up? What do we call that?
Anticipation.
Anticipation.
If that's something that you actually do, that would be your activity for that day to build anticipation.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna be. We'll put a pin in this when we do the next circus. I am 1,000%
Animal
do this.
therapy.
This sounds
Anticipation
great,
for the
and I feel
circus.
just gonna be hilarious to try and talk to a goat on why he keeps kicking these little kids' father.
I just don't like them. I don't like them at all.
I feel like it could go
Man.
terribly wrong or hilarious at the same time. Tell me more of your problems, Billy.
I'm not gonna call the goat Billy on purpose. Alrighty.
I don't know. I have a snake named Python in a campaign, or Monty, and I have a python named Monty in another campaign.
That I approve. So you settle your way away from these kids, and are you making your way to the main stage? Are you heading somewhere else? What are you doing? If you need some reminders, we'll give you some reminders.
It's in the woodworking district, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that was the district. I'm just
Yep.
trying to decide if we should go there right now or if we should go to the podium.
How late in the day is it?
It's like midday. It's like not noon yet, so past breakfast, not yet lunch. Because you guys did some walking around and you did some technical shopping.
All right. Vote on which one we go to. So,
I
first,
think we could kind of slowly wander over to the woodworking district and see what's going on there. But
it might be worth seeing at least. No
also
worse
curious
surroundings.
as to what's going on at the main podium, so I'm kind of
Plus,
I'm
we
curious
also need to
about
figure out how to open the fountain, since that's supposed to be the entrance, I believe.
Probably
Ancient-
want to do that. Do that incognito.
Yeah, but we could still check it out.
Right. Just kind of look at it. I guess we could stop by the woodworking fountain.
Okay, so you guys, make your way through the crowds. The woodworking district is one of the outer districts, so it's not as packed with people. But there's still stuff going on. There are, people selling, wooden carvings and assortments of wooden toys and various sizes. Rocking horses and the little stick horses, like the sticks with the horse head.
Oh, right. That they're walking around galloping on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's fantasy world. So they don't have the fancy newfangled toys. It's like it's old school stuff when kids had imaginations.
And actually liked going outside because it's where all their friends were.
Yeah, touching grass and doing all that shit that no one does anymore.
Thank you, internet.
Uh, Alrighty, so you guys walk around for a little bit, and you notice that yeah, so in the district there is this like just this fancy let's see this. So there's like this. Well, I don't want to say it's fancy because it's defunct from lack of use.
Hmm.
But they're so basically, so it's a mermaid fountain that you remember having to look for, and you do find it in the woodworking district. Um, and normally, you would suspect it'd be a little bit of rough and tumble for stuff, because again, it's on one of the outer um, districts, so not a lot of foot patrol for authorities and things of that nature. But um, in the eastern neighborhoods of Escadar, filled with drugstores and gambling dens and overcrowded tenements, and in a courtyard at the end of a deserted side street, sequestered by a cacophony of touts and peddlers. So basically, street hustlers. Um, a gaping sinkhole yawns next to a dry and crumbling fountain depicting a frolicking mermaid. A metal fence surrounds the sinkhole and the fountain, and there are four men dressed in constable uniforms near the fountain. And they are at attention and looks like they're just looking for troublemakers.
Are they standing like the royal guard would outside the palace, where it's just like they're just staring forward,
I mean, they're not as
not as rigid?
rigid, but they're it looks like the way the fencing is designed, this is the main way to get past the fencing, and they have taken up defensive positions around it. So they're not all four in front of it. There's like, two to the side and then another two past them, to, cover some blind spots. But it's not like, it's not a throng of constables. It's just it looks like they're just, basically there to keep the rabble from getting into the fenced off area.
Um,
Okay.
Gwennon's going to tug on um, Cantrell's sleeve and say, I think Jethal and I could maybe create a diversion if we did some juggling and tricks.
Well, first we should get some answers and see what we can learn from them.
Good point.
Hmm.
If anything, we could always go to the constable and ask for permission to get through there.
Uh, she is aware of what you're trying to do, so trying to remember. I thought I made a GM note on this.
That you gave us like a missive or a pass.
You did find it. Okay, so you have from one of the books you found, um, like basically a permit.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
So
Alrighty. Well,
Right back real
I
quick.
don't wanna blow all our cards in one day, but I mean, he just kind of pulls it out of his robe, shows the paper.
so
We do
you're
have it in.
so you're okay. Oh, so you're showing
I'm
it
show
to you're showing
to the
it to
group.
them. Gotcha.
Yeah, showing it to my group. Just be like, I do have an in. We don't have to be, bum rushing everything. We do have some time. Is there anything you want to take care of before we go down?
Shimmer doesn't have anything that you absolutely need to do.
No, I think I'm okay.
I'll wait for Shothra just in case.
I had my face on my other monitor. I didn't see she walked away.
Yeah, no, I think it's.
While we're sort of waiting for Shothra to decide, if Gwennon looks around at the wood carving things, does she see anything like a little wooden carved butterfly or a butterfly necklace?
Roll me percentile.
Ooh, first dice roll of the day.
Well, technically, my dice roll was for the kids for the day.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that one.
Well, it's
Short-
technically
short memory.
Gwynnon. It's technically Gwennon's first roll for the day,
Yeah,
so
it
that
is.
works.
Yeah, in my first roll.
Mine was a perception check that I just passed. So
Okay, should have clarified. Okay, so that is a 26.
26. You don't see anything immediately where you are, but you do see that, like, it's like maybe half a block away. There is one stand where you do see, hung up in the, like, in their little stand, some purpley objects and stuff. It's a little too far to see with the naked eye because, again, it's like a half a block away. But there, of the colors that are about of anything that is colored and not stained, because again, it's still a working district, so you would presume things are more stained than colored. This particular stand catches your eye because there are a lot of colors and not a lot of things that are actually stained on display.
Cantrell, could you give me a moment just to go down and check out that stall over there? It looks like there might be something of interest to me.
oh, fair enough. We can take a little bit of a break. We've been hoofing it around city all day.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of at a very fast pace move over there to have a closer look.
All right, and
Just kind of gives Jathal a nice little tap on the back. Like, have fun.
He's not. He's like you whiff. Like he's already like.
Have fun, you two.
So you start getting closer and you start seeing there are things hung up, and you start seeing things that look kind of like birds, and you, as you get closer, you do notice that he actually has a mobile, and the mobile is different colored and sized butterflies.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. I'm going to ask him what the cost is of the mobile.
Tells you it's a gold piece.
Okay. I'll explain to him that I'm a follower of Desna, and it would mean a great deal to me to have the mobile. Does that change the price?
Give me a society check. Actually, you know what? No, because you're trying to use Desna's influence. Give me a religion check.
Oh, all right.
What I miss?
Oh, well, that sucked.
Yeah, hero
Okay,
points.
so, yeah, and that would be, I'm sorry, religion?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to use my hero point. We're close enough to the break here. Okay. Oh, well, that dice obviously just is not cooperating. Just threw itself on the floor. Okay. All right, so that is dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So he looks at you and he kind of like, looks around and he goes, mm, we don't really see too many worshippers of Our Lady here. He's like, you know what? Fine. I'll give you. Mm. He's like, yeah, sure. He's like, what if I charge you 8 silver?
Sure, that sounds good. And we'll each give you a blessing of Desna as an additional payment.
Jathal isn't clerical, so he doesn't
Oh,
really.
so he can't. Okay, so
Yeah, it's like,
I'll just say that I can give a blessing of Desna as well.
yeah. I mean, it's like he knows the religious text, but it's like he's not a cleric.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that would be the deal then.
Yeah, she totally thanks you. He's like, yeah. He's like, he's like, we don't really get a whole lot of butterflies here, and he asks you if you've been to the shrine that is in Absalom. And he goes,
I'll say that no, I haven't. I'll ask Jathal if he has been there.
oh, he's been there because he's talked about it with you.
That's right. So I'll say no, I haven't, but Jathal here has.
Yes, it is quite lovely. When we have the time to venture across the waters, my lady, we should definitely pay our respects. I think you would very much like it, and the sisters there would, I'm sure, love to have a chat with you.
Well, since we're traveling, I have a little shrine set up in my circus wagon for Desna, and this will be a perfect addition for it.
Oh,
so I'll ask them to wrap it up.
And sure, he wraps it up. He asks you where you got the shrine from. Is this something you had? Did one of the craftsmen in town make it for you? He's very curious.
I'll tell him I've had it since I was a child, that it was a gift from my father.
It's like, oh.
And it's a little portable one.
Oh yeah, I mean, he figures it's like something just he's like very he's very intrigued. He's like is it like he like we won't go into details, but he asked for descriptions of it and stuff like that, and he basically takes out like some paper and he's like jotting some notes and whatnot when you describe it, and he's like, I wonder if that might sell. It's like, yeah, like he like thanks. He was like, yeah, it's like he's totally happy with that.
Yeah, and having not been to Absalom, I do not know if my father had like made a small replica of it, or what it. But to me, it's a place where I would like. That's where I take flowers and things, and
it's your backstory. You tell me.
Right. Yeah. So because I haven't been to Absalom, I don't know if it's a replica. That's something I'll have to find out someday. But to me, it's just a pretty shrine, and there's a place where I can put flowers in it, and I know that.
All right.
And it sits nicely on a little table.
Yeah, he totally is like, he's like totally has like the gleam of inspiration in his eyes, and you can give yourself 10 anticipation for your next performance.
Yay.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Okay. You'll make a note of that, Jathal? Or, I'm sorry, Cantrell?
And
Okay.
anticipation.
All right. So then we will take our
That's
little
that's on top of the 25 we earned, right?
For the next one, because of the preemptive stuff you did, yes.
Yes, I guess so. Got it.
Okay. So Jathal and I will hurry back to the others.
All right. Anyone gonna do anything else before we take a quick break?
Yeah. Literally, Cantrell has looked to Shotha as like, anything else you want to do before we go down? Okay. So
Alrighty, so before you guys actually engage with the guards, um, we'll take a quick break. So, um, so everyone who's watching, thank you. We're gonna take a quick break. So get up, stretch your legs, refresh your drinks, have some tea, have some coffee, do what you need to do, and we'll be back in a little bit. So we'll catch you guys.
For getting a place to live, right?
Well, I've been with this employer for
All right.
5 years
So I think
or 4 years.
we're back.
Yay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can the can Twitch here? Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know what the hell happened. Like, so apparently Discord and OBS tried to update at the same time, and my whole computer wigged the